Hiya! It is Saturday the 3rd of May and it's been such a gorgeous day today, but it was really bright, so I didn't think that I would be able to sort of film, probably would be dazzled by the sun. So I've waited to just now at 6:30 to come out and have a wee look at what's going on at the start of May. I'm just at the start of the side garden, and one of the first things we see is this honesty, and it's just self-seeded and it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's been so big. I don't know, I think the self-seeded ones must just be really happy, and then it's starting to get the wee seed pods now, so that's really exciting. And then over here we have the tiny wine, that's Physocarpus. I love the colour of that, it gets even darker sometimes. So that was a Physocarpus, and then there's a couple of alliums here. Now I think they might be Christophii, but I'm not entirely sure. But it's really exciting because I didn't know if they were going to come back or not, because it was quite a shaded area, I think. But both of them are getting buds, so that's really exciting. And then next to that is the Vanessa Bell David Austin Rose, which is a beautiful sort of creamy yellow, absolutely stunning. And then next to that is the peony. Now one of the bits is just totally wilted, and it did have a wee tiny flower bud on it. It's kind of looking at the moment like I'm only going to have these two, so we'll wait and see. We've still got some nice wee daffodils here. They're just been gorgeous. I'll try and show you. They're gorgeous. So many petals on it. And then just some marigolds. I'm not keen on marigolds, but Ali loves them, so I decided that I would get a wee pack from Morrison's and I just put them in. And then I think this is a wee nasturtium that's, oh no wait, it's either nasturtium or it's an honesty. I think it's nasturtium. No, I think it's an honesty. I think we'll need to pull that out. It's just seeding itself everywhere. And then at this side, right here, we've got the lavender. Now I was looking at just a couple of years ago, and it's crazy how much that's grown, and I've been cutting it back right to like as far as I can every year, but it's just got massive and I love it. And there's wee buds starting, I don't know if you can see on there already, so hopefully that'll be in flower in a not too distant future. And then round here I'm sort of trying to think if I want this holly, this ilex here or not. I think I'm liking it there, so I'm probably going to plant it in the next few days. And then here we've got the hydrangea that I took as a cutting maybe 2-3 years ago, and I mean that's like, some of it's about 4 foot, but it's been really getting attacked by some sort of like aphids. You can see a flower bud there. I need to get the soapy water onto that, I think. I think this bit here was nipped by frost more than anything, but it's just covered. I hope it doesn't affect the flower. I've never had my hydrangea covered in anything like that before. And then we've got the azalea down here. Just, that's the pink flower. It usually just goes crazy with flower, it's gorgeous. And I've planted some more alliums that had come up in one of the containers down here. And I treated myself to a little clematis or clematis called Multi Blue. And it's just a wee tiny thing just now. And I've kept it in a pot for the moment just so I didn't shock it too much. But I'll probably put it in the ground just soon. And then an allium. Now I think that might be Christophii. And then the Climbing Rose, which is a beautiful apricot and pink, apricot kind of colour. But again, it's been getting attacked, something terrible. It's really thorny. It's been getting attacked, something terrible with little beasties. I had sprayed it a couple of times, and I don't know, maybe I have to do it again. And then we've got the Blue Spire Salvia that's coming back, so that's really exciting. And a wee bit fell off it last year and I stuck it in the ground, so this little stick here is another one. And then we've got Achillea here, which is a really beautiful pale pink. Physocarpus Diablo, so it's kind of the same colour as a tiny wine, but bigger leaves. Still got the allium heads in there. That was the Christophii ones. They were amazing. And lilies, I can't remember what colour these were. I think they were maybe pink, but we'll just have to wait and see because I can't really remember. And more of them over there as well. And then the box leaf honeysuckle, it looks like it's starting to get wee flowers on it. I'll see if I can get in there without breaking anything. Yeah, look. And that gets the most gorgeous purple berries that actually look like glass. And then we've got the snapdragon that's wintered over twice now, and it's looking like it's budding up, so I'm really excited about that. And here is the Queen of Sweden David Austin rose, and again it's been getting attacked. Everything is getting attacked by aphids and green fly and goodness knows what, black fly. Another allium has popped up here, and I think there's another one over there somewhere. And then we have a stilby, which has came back, and it's bigger and better this year, I think, and loads of flower buds. And a little pom-pom daisy here. And then this is Invincible Spirit hydrangea that Anna got me last year, and I snapped a little bit off when I was trying to look at the echinops that was behind it, because it's got really tall. And again, look, covered in stuff. But yeah, I snapped a wee tiny bit off, so I hope it doesn't affect it too much. And then we've got some sort of limelight hydrangea here. It's looking a bit sparse with leaves, but not to worry. And then what else have we got here? Oh yeah, so here we've got the Sweet Rocket, which is Hesperus, and that was from last year, and I cut it back and it's grown back again, and it's got loads of flower buds on it this year. So we've got them there and there, and then another one down here, and then beside it I've got the Blue Moon Rose, which you can just see the sort of canes there, and it's a shrub. But I was watching, I think her name is Annette, sorry, at Cotto Verde channel, and she was saying how she'd been watching Klaus Dalby, and he had said about getting some of the stems and sort of pulling them down a little bit more so they're a bit more horizontal, to try and encourage more flowers. So I thought I'd give it a try. We'll just have to see how that does. And then in this bed here as well, we've got Sweet William down here, and there's Echinops right next to the Sweet Rocket, and I think this might be a foxglove in the back, self-seeded again, and Echinops getting good size in it here next to a foxglove again, and another foxglove at the other side. And then we've got some feverfew next to the bird bath, and the Sweet Williams down here looking really good. More Honesty. And then we've got the Liatris spicata that I just divided off the one round in the back border at the edge of the back of the house. So that's took, and I must have done it here as well, because there's definitely more there, and I can't remember doing that, but I must have. I didn't think it through because obviously the bleeding heart was there and I didn't realise. But it's looking really lovely. It's a beautiful colour of pink, isn't it? And a little bird bath. And then over here you've got the ivy climbing up the wall, and there's some Veronica that was a division as well, just starting to flower right there. It looks a little bit like the foxglove, but that's it there. And then I've got Primula, look at the gorgeous pink there as well, it's beautiful. And then there's these lilies, and if I'm remembering correctly, I think they're yellow. And then we'll have some red geums here with plenty of buds starting, and that one as well. There's one here that always seems to struggle and it stays little, so I don't know if that one's going to do anything. And then that was a phlox bare root. Again, they look like they've been getting attacked and munched. And then a little Salix flamingo tree. And then over here I made a little homemade sort of frame for the clematis, and it's like a pale sort of lilac colour. It's getting bigger and bigger all the time. I think if it keeps growing and it gets too big for that, I might sort of trail it along and see if I can get it to grip onto the ivy. Might be an idea. And then again here we've got wallflowers down here. There's a little Stilby bare root that's started to grow, and more feverfew, a nice big bunch, and there's echinops either side. And then we've got the wee cherry, oh no, Prunus triloba. I looked it up and it said it was a plum, an ornamental plum, but I always thought it was a cherry, so what do I know. And then the green Flavoramia is looking amazing here. And I've got Cotoneaster, which really doesn't look very good, and I'm seriously thinking about getting something in here that's got a bloom at this time of year, like maybe some sort of, I'd have to look it up and see if rhododendron need full sun or not all the time, and if it can handle shade, then I think one in there would be really nice. I mean, the azalea, which is off the same family back there, that's not in a lot of sun all the time, but it's looking fab, so we'll see. Oh, before I forget, like, ignore that bit. So I've got the gorgeous Kilmarnock willow, still surrounded by the little primroses. I need to maybe deadhead that because they're starting to look a wee bit iffy again. But yeah, more alliums sort of dotted around in here as well. And there's poppies as well, which the seeds came from the pink fizz ones. So that's exciting to see. And then we've got some ladies' mantle here and down here. And then there's another Astilbe bare root just in this wee pot here. And this one here is Astrantia Capri, which is a gorgeous sort of cerise colour, beautiful. And then down here under this little cage we've got Princess Juliana Geum, which is here, and there's an Astrantia there, and that's another one of the Capri, and another one of the Princess Juliana Geums here. And it's getting a bit crowded now with these poppies, but I don't want to disturb them. And then if we look here, we've got this gorgeous wee drift of forget-me-nots that I'm more than positive I didn't grow them. I think they've just happened. And then the Nelly Moser clematis. It's not flowered yet, it's still a wee bit early I think, but it's got big flowers, flower buds. And you can just see the little pop of pink there, which is a primula again. That I started off with one plant and it got really big last year, so I divided it and I've probably got about 5 or 6 plants out of it. What else have we got? So yeah, just coming along here, we've got lots of cuttings and little seedlings. There's Sweet William seedlings that are looking really questionable. My Darts Gold cuttings, they're looking fab, although one was wilting today. Have to keep an eye on that. We've got some little geranium plugs, and there's a fuchsia, and then that's my lobelia that I grew. And there's some gladiola in here, and I've just put some lettuce seeds in there too. And then, oh, just along my glass, I was hydrating earlier. And this here belongs to my son Brian, who we actually lost 2 years ago today. And I just thought it just didn't feel right to be doing something today and not mention him. I've had the day off to go away to his grave and things, and took forget-me-nots from the garden. So yeah, this wee bit of wall here, when he was younger, I mean he was 30 when he passed away from complications with his diabetes. And wanted to say was that this garden has been such a therapy for me. Like, even before we lost Brian, I had a bit of a health scare, and I don't know, being out in the garden, just all I think about is that instead of the other stuff. But this stuff here is actually what I wanted to talk about, is that Brian used to stand here and fix his bikes, and this flower bed didn't used to be here, it was all just grass. And just after we lost Brian, I was trying to keep myself busy, so we ended up digging out this border. And even though it was years later, it was crazy because it was only about a month after we lost him. And when we were digging, we found all of these things, and I actually even found one of his diabetic test strips as well. But this is sort of the handlebar and the throttle from his, one's a handlebar from his push bike, and I think the other one's a throttle, and just little reflectors. So yeah, I used to stand here and fix his bikes, and it used to drive me crazy because all I could see was the mess. But this is where this all stays, so if you see that in the videos ever, that's what it is. Yeah, anyway, so I'll move on. This back border is the red dogwood in here, which has struggled as well due to, I don't know if it just wilted with heat a few weeks ago or if it's been getting attacked as well. It's hard to tell. But we've got Veronica here. And then we've got the saxifrage and Rebecca just peeking up there. I've got some two morning glories in here, I thought I'd keep it in the pot because I've seen that it can be quite invasive, so I don't want to have that if it's going to do like just be everywhere. And then we've got the Liatris spicata here, which was a division of the one that's sort of down beside the lupin. And this lupin is just massive this year, and it looks like it's got a lot of buds on it already. And then we've got a lily that came up that I didn't even know was in there. I don't know what colour that's going to be. And plenty of ranunculus planted. I think there's maybe 5 or 6 in here. And then this is a main Rebecca that I've sort of split and took lots of wee bits off of and dotted it around. And then this is sea holly, which hasn't done much since I bought it, but I took it back out the ground and put it in a pot, and it looks like it's recovering well this year, so it'd be nice to get some sort of blooms off of that. And more forget-me-not in the little rose, which is a cerise colour, and then a nice marigold. And then over here is the border I was just working on the other day, which hasn't really changed anything apart from I planted Gaillardia just there, that little one. Hopefully that's going to do okay. I don't think I planted anything else in here, so it's just really looking the same. The lupin, I noticed it's got a few wee flower buds. I don't know if I can see them from here. No, I don't think so. But there's a few flower buds on that as well. And then we've got alliums along this wall. And I planted a couple of sunflowers just at the back. And they look like they're doing okay so far. The troughs that I planted out, the little Super Junior cutting looks like it's getting strong, and the Creeping Jenny looks like it's creeping. And then the other one, and then here as well we've got the raspberry plants, which I noticed today have got the startings of the flowers coming. And then we've got snapdragons here, which are all, I'm positive these are all ivory Madam Butterfly, and I planted some seedlings in there too to fill it out. These ones wintered over luckily, so that's really good. Oh, I've just noticed the turnip. These are like sweet marble turnips. So I'd seen them on a show and I thought that I'd really like to try and grow them. So it looks like there's a couple coming up. Just there and there. And then these are the Thumbelina Priscilla petunias. And then the Eucomis, I showed you that the other day as well, and it's coming up. It's exciting. Over here, just thought I'd show you my potting table, which is a bit of a disaster at the moment. This was a winter showing things, so there's Echinacea, Aquilegia, and a couple of salvias in here. That is, I think that's Vanessa Bell. And then I went to the garden centre today, and well, Gracie, before I was going, she was like, "Are we growing pumpkins this year?" And I had said no, and she was like, "Oh, please." So I went away and I bought pumpkin. So just one that says pumpkin, and the other one is Jill Be Little, which apparently is like mini pumpkins. And then I've got cucumbers, and there's tomato plants here. My baby lupins from the winter sowing, I managed to get them potted up. they're looking good. And my dahlia tubers, this is a totally tangerine one, looking fab. And I think that's blue bayou. That was like, oh, that was one of the wee tiny tubers that fell off. Looking amazing, by the way. And this one is looking really good. And that's cafe au lait. And I've got some origeron, or however you say that, and more morning glory that have been growing. And then there's more, I think they're totally tangerine dahlia. I think that was the cuttings actually, so they're looking fab. And a strawberry plant, or two strawberry plants there. And this is a wee tiny Nelly Moser. I nearly killed it, but I think it's coming back now. It's looking good. So obviously this is just a wee pebble pool area. And got lilies coming up here. These were like a really frilly looking pale pink and white. They were gorgeous. So hopefully they're going to come back, because they got stripped bare by the lily beetles last year. And in here, I think it's some sort of limelight. I can't remember, because we got it from Morrison's and it was really cheap, so I couldn't resist it. But it's getting flowers already, so that's fabulous. And then these are just the box leaf honeysuckle that I took cuttings from and then tried to train them into kind of more standard shape. And more forget-me-nots. Actually, the year that we, well, the 2 years ago when we lost Brian, it was just about a month later that I was out here and there was a wee plant with little blue flowers like that had come up, and I had never seen it before. So when I checked it on the app, it said it was forget-me-nots, and at that time I had never had forget-me-nots in the garden, and that one had just appeared. It was just amazing. And then one of Anna's friends gave us forget-me-not seeds, and this is what I planted last year, and then they've all just came back. Well, self-seeded, I mean. And then the patio is looking a bit crowded at the moment. I've just today got more eucomis, the pineapple lily, so that's really good. So that in there, I'm going to give that wee one to Anna, and then these ones are probably for me. And then I think there's gladiola bulbs in here, and this is a hydrangea that's like a bright pink as well. And then obviously we've got lilies. That's really like loads in there, obviously smaller in height, but I'm sure they're going to be gorgeous. More rose cuttings here, and a couple there at the front. And then I've got Nyphophia, which is the red hot pokers, in here. And another lily with more lily beetles, look. I'm going to get them away just shortly. And then hostas, I've tried to put them up on top of like bricks and then a stand to stop them from getting eaten, but it doesn't seem to be working. Although this one's looking good, and that's up on the wee wire stand. I've got little Rosy Dream alliums here. Oh, and then I had planted anemones down here, and they're coming up. What else? Delphinium. That was grown from seed maybe 2 years ago, and I'm sure that's like a bright, like royal blue. And then these lilies, I'm sure they're called, it's either white diamond or bright diamond, and they went massive last year, so it'll be interesting to see if they do that again. Honestly though, all the lily bulbs, all the lilies look like they're getting buds on them already. Look at the colour of these. Don't know what these tulips are called, or any of them, to be fair. Now these ones are all going over, and I'm trying to feed them as the leaves are dying off to see if it'll encourage new ones next year as well. This is all my baby plants. So we've got feverfew, snapdragons, a wee mixture in here. I think there's cosmos, cornflowers, gaillardia, strawflowers, begonias. Got some lettuce, and then pom-pom daisies with lettuce round it. And then these are the dahlias that I grew from seed, all looking really, really healthy. And then down here is a lobelia that I grew. I've been growing that since I think the end of December. And these begonias are coming on really good. And then got more sunflowers here and amaranthus. And I think at the back that's maybe strawflowers. And then over in the back border, oh, I put calendula that I've grown from seed. So there, I think there's 5. And then there's another 5 there with a liatris just tucked in front of the aquilegia. And then we've got feverfew that's getting massive. And then the sweet peas I've planted down here. And then I found this branch that was cut from the hydrangea, and I'm going to see if the sweet peas will just sort of climb up that. I might need to get a wee string or something to encourage it, but I'd really like that if that would climb up there and be quite natural looking. Got more foxgloves either side. There's a rose campion in there that I'm going to have to move because I didn't realise the feverfew was going to get just quite so big this year. And then that was the Brunnera seedling from that self-seeded last year, and that's Silver Heart, that one. And then the one tucked in at the back there, just under the Honesty, that's Jack of Diamonds. And then Forsythia, and obviously the ivy going up the fence, more Honesty, and there's a few wee alliums, so they ones there, a couple of wee ones over at the back, and then there's 2 planted down there just in front of the Brunnera. And then the hellebore, look at the hellebore leaf over here, it's looking gorgeous, look at the markings on that. And then heuchera, and something sunset that's with the tips, look how the colour of them are gorgeous. And then I think this is the other Astrantia bare root, and the daffodils, I'm going to have to come in and cut them. What else? More heuchera, bluegrasses, there's 1, 2, 3, and more Veronica with a lily beetle on it again. And then this Brunnera, it's the Silver Heart one, and it's, oh, I mean, I've had that for a couple of years now, and look at that, that's just unbelievably beautiful. And then we've got Crocosmia just behind the fairy at the back, which I'm going to feed I think tomorrow, try and encourage some flowers. I got 1 flower last year, so hopefully we'll get more. And then the other Brunnera seedling just here, more Veronica, looking gorgeous. And the aquilegia that I grew from seed, it's yellow, I'm positive that's yellow, that one. And got a wee baby Brunnera just in there, a wee self-seeder again. More foxgloves, and look at the size of this Honesty. Do you think it's happy? Self-seeded again. And then we're getting a lot more sort of shoots on the elderberry, so I'd maybe quite like to try and take some cuttings off of that. Wait till I show you. I can't remember what this is called. This is a neighbour's tree though. It's beautiful, isn't it? And then got a gorgeous hebe down here. And there's echinacea in that pot there, and it was coming back and now it's disappeared, but it got quite wet, so I hope it's not rotted. And we've got another Jack of Diamonds bare root just down there, some more alliums, and then the last of the tulips that are in the wheelbarrow. So I think that's it for today. I really hope you've enjoyed this garden tour. I hope I haven't dragged the mood down too much with talking about Brian, but I just thought, obviously I've spoke about Anna and Gracie, and it doesn't feel right not to ever speak about Brian, so I just thought I'd let you know about the wee bits and pieces that are on the wall and that they belong to him. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this garden tour, and as I said, I hope it wasn't too sad or anything. As I said, I just wanted to mention them, and especially since it's 2 years today. We've just had quite a quiet day, quite a nice day as well, out in the garden, really taking my mind off things. That's what the garden is amazing for. So I hope you're having a really good day, and I'll just say bye for now.